Mandela, we are speaking just a few months after you took the reins of Allraise. Congratulations.
Thank you, and what a 3 months it's been.
What a 3 months it's been. We've had a rockin' and rollin' economy and market, and we'll get into all of that, but I just want to rewind. What made you want to take this job?
What made me want to take the job? Oh, that's a good question. You know, what made me want to take the job was, number one, the people. I think I'm at a state in my life, in my career, where the people are a priority in terms of how I make decisions and what are their belief systems, their values, where do they put their money in their mouth, and where does it collide? But really being in a group of powerful women who walk their talk is so inspiring to me, and I wanted to be a part of that, so that was a big reason. And then also the track record they have. It's an organization that's been in existence and growing and scaling for 4 years. And I believe that my background as an entrepreneur, an operator, an investor, an LP, I could really come into this community with a level of empathy and compassion and network and allyship that I thought I could take it to the next level. And I think I can.
Let's talk about that background. You've worked with hundreds of founders.
Yeah.
You've really helped scale and a lot of underrepresented founders. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct, yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that and what experience do you want to bring to Allraise?
Yeah, so I myself was one of the first Black women in Silicon Valley to raise venture capital. This was back in 2012, so about a decade ago, believe it or not. And I had a lived experience that was really challenging, isolating, where I had to figure out what the playbook was, what the unwritten rules are, who I should be talking to, what I should say, what I shouldn't say. And when it came time for me to use my privilege and power navigating Silicon Valley years later, I decided I wanted to create a space and a program for other underrepresented founders where they would never have to go through what I did. They would never have to figure this out alone. And so I also am a teacher, and so I'm pretty good at building curriculum. So I worked with the end in mind. If my goal is to help historically underrepresented, underestimated, underfunded, under-resourced, under-mentored, you keep going in that realm. If my vision is to help them get access to capital, get access to mentorship and branding and insider knowledge, how do I do that? Right? So I built out a program, worked backwards, and I went on in my founder gym company to train over 650 entrepreneurs around the world. And many of them were the first in their communities, even in their states, to ever raise millions of dollars.
Now, it's been a rockin' and roll in 3 months, as we alluded at the top of the conversation. I've heard from some people that they're worried that this economic environment means there will be a pullback. A lot of the diversity commitments that companies, founders, investors made 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that'll be the first thing to go if financials get tighter.
Yeah.
Do you share that fear?
Fear. I think it's a possibility. I think it's a possibility because, like you said, it's rooted in fear. When the money dries up, people aren't willing to experiment as much and to use different patterns to make new decisions, right? So when we talk about the pattern of the past and how people currently identify who's the talent, what type of companies do they build? If it worked for them, I'm going to use that same playbook. And what diversity, equity, inclusion means is honoring a different pattern. This person may not have gone to that school. This person may not have worked at that tech company. This person may not have this track record that these other founders do, but I'm willing to take a bold bet on them because their distance traveled and where they started and everything they had to do to even get in the room to pitch me, the investor, that counts for something. So to answer your question, do I share that fear? I think it's a real possibility, but I think it's a bigger opportunity. I think the people in positions of power, those who are the check writers, those who are deciding which companies, which founders get funded, I would really encourage them to check in with themselves and understand this opportunity they have to retreat and go back to what feels safe and proven, or to continue to boldly move forward and make bets, give opportunities to people who have not had that opportunity so that we don't lose all the progress that's been made.